Live from the Business RadioX studio inside Renaissance Bank, the bank that specializes in understanding you. It's time for North Fulton Business Radio.
And hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of North Fulton Business Radio. I'm John Ray, and folks, we are broadcasting live from inside Renaissance Bank on Windward Parkway in Alpharetta. We just happen to be broadcasting from the best bank in Georgia, as voted by Forbes magazine. Yes, that's Renaissance Bank. And the reason I think, from my perspective, they got that award is I think they're big enough to handle pretty much any need you can throw at them, but small enough to do it in a personal way. And I know this myself. So if you're looking for that kind of experience for your business with your bank, then go to renaissancebank.com and check them out. I think you'll be glad you did. Renaissance Bank, understanding you, member FDIC. And now I want to welcome Toseima Jiles. Toseima is with Creative Arts International. Toseima, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, John.
It's a pleasure
to be here. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about you and Creative Arts International. How are you serving folks out there?
Well, Creative Arts International is a consulting firm. We specialize in arts and business consulting. So it's a very unique niche.
Yep.
But we are excited to be able to serve the community for nearly 30 years within that niche market.
You know, when you say nearly 30 years.
Yes, I know I look nearly 30 years old.
You don't even look 30 years old. Whatever you're taking, I want a dose of it. But anyway.
I think it's called doing what you love.
I like that.
It keeps you young.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, congratulations on that. No, you're tremendous. So, well, I want to get into the intersection of business and arts here in a second, but let's talk about your journey. I mean, what has brought you to this point?
Well, I think it's a quite an interesting journey. You know, everyone has their life story. It kind of folds into who they become. People who are amazing, like Oprah Winfrey, you know, one of the greatest, most powerful business women in the world, started in a very meek and meager time in life. And that the same thing was true for me. At the time when the arts kind of impacted my life, it was during a time where I was also experiencing abuse in my life. And so what was interesting is the arts became that outlet for me to deal with the pain I was experiencing in my life. And interestingly enough, when people look at arts and pouring arts into young people, or even filtering it through the business experience, they're not really realizing where the passion originated. And for me, it's from a very pure place.
Wow. So, I mean, this is a big picture question, but what is it about the arts that aid in healing and recovery?
The arts has a way of pulling you out of your present moment. If you think about so many ways that we kind of heal ourselves, some people choose to pray, and I choose to do that also. Some people may choose meditation as their primary form of healing, and I enjoy meditation as well. Some people enjoy going for a walk or even playing a video game at this stage, especially with the pandemic. We have all found new ways to utilize an outlet. But with the arts, it kind of snatched me out of my everyday life, out of everyday thinking, and forced me to redirect my thoughts completely to something I couldn't control, something that was spontaneous and exciting. I think arts plays such an important role in every aspect of business, of leadership, when we know how to utilize it properly. And so I think over the years, I've found not only my own outlet, my own healing, but I found so many ways to be able to incorporate that in my interactions with people, and they find healing. And that's where the true wins are, right? That's where the pay it forward really makes sense for me.
Got it. So we talked about the I guess it's, for lack of a better way of putting it, my way of putting it, which is probably the wrong way, but my way of putting it, the intersection of arts and business, and that making your firm unique. Let's talk about maybe the business side of that first, and the business consulting work that you do. Absolutely.
So within the business consulting realm, we provide team corporate building, or I should say corporate team building, however that's best worded for you guys out there. But what we're able to do is go in, provide an analysis of everything from personality to the influx of how challenges can affect productivity. When we look at how challenges can affect productivity, and we're really truly honest about what that looks like, we can create specialized programs to help people overcome challenges and therefore become more productive. So for most business owners, they think about that as, well, we tend to leave it to our employees to handle their own personal matters. And that's probably a great idea. At the same token, though, when people are bringing their personal matters into the office, it affects morale. It affects how happy they are to complete a task. It affects how productive they have the capacity to be when challenges are happening. And people may not necessarily speak about them directly, but they are affecting them. And the perfect example would be in the midst of the pandemic, many of us experienced the most depression. Depression rates went up. There were so many challenges with mental health that are now come to the surface more. So when we're able to address those things within an environment where we're playing games, we're creating fun, we are incorporating the arts, now we're finding a way to once again redirect our thoughts to focus on the things that really matter. Like at the end of the day, for a business owner, the bottom line.
Right, right. So what is the, for a dysfunctional team, let's call it, or a team that needs to be, re-sewn together? What are the biggest reasons why that happens? Is it because of those personal things at home, or is it something other than that, something more?
Well, that's what we kind of explore in the discovery process. And what I mean, many people may be completely familiar with discovery, but it's just the process of digging through an understanding of where a business is versus where they'd like to be. Within that capacity, though, so many needs are presented. Things like people needing to hire quality employees. And ironically enough, during the pandemic, we were able to complete our certification with AFLAC to be able to provide those kind of solutions as well. It's kind of like what you generally do when you know your forward progress is going to ultimately help your client. Each of our clients communicate with us what their needs are when we sit in our consultations, which of course are free, 30-minute consultations, and we help kind of figure out what the solutions look like. Of course, people can request their consultation on our website. So it's an easy way to figure out what makes sense once we sit down together.
Got it. Toseima Jiles is with us, folks. She's the founder of Creative Arts International. So Toseima, let's talk about arts consulting.
Absolutely.
Let's get into how you help businesses with, I guess, infusing them with a good dose of the arts.
Well, we infuse businesses with a good dose of the arts by looking at their full outline of what they kind of want to accomplish, what their current goals are, and where they see the future. And then we incorporate the arts in that. But when we are working with schools, we work with after-school programs, YMCA programs, church programs, and all sorts of facilities where we are teaching kiddos life skills through performing arts. So if you think about it, we are really a business that has somehow found a way to incorporate the arts into every aspect of how we interact with people. And that's important. With arts being removed from the schools in so many districts and so many environments that are desperate for an outlet to deal with the pain they're experiencing in life. So I think what we've learned during the pandemic, and I keep speaking about that because it has impacted every life, every person in the world almost.
Sure.
So the pandemic introduced so many challenges for so many people that people are just figuring their way out. They're just trying to find any way out. Well, if we can create a platform that's going to be healthy for people to find their way out, then we're empowering not just a child, an adult, a community, a business, and eventually you want to empower the world with something bigger than you. That's the goal.
Right. Got it. What do you say to a business owner that says, that's all sounds like a lot of, woo-woo to me because, I'm bottom line and bottom line is what matters. And, the arts are a little bit unquantifiable as to how that's going to help my business.
Absolutely. So we also look at strategies that are realistic for the bottom line. What makes us unique is we incorporate those real life numbers. And we address how our everyday life, our interaction in business or our interaction in the office even. So one aspect of our business servicing is coaching, for example. Within the coaching realm, we have several clients that are focused on public speaking. Even if you hire someone with the knowledge and the background to be able to stand up and make presentations on behalf of your organization, if those presentations are not effective, think of how that affects your bottom line. But maybe you have someone who's extremely well spoken, but are not quite sure of how to lay out the outline for presenting that information effectively that affects your bottom line. So we help business owners figure out how to increase their bottom line because that's really the goal. Every business just wants to be successful. We understand that. But what we do is we go to the ground floor and we build from there on how to help businesses be successful.
Terrific. Now, so Toseima, let's talk about maybe a success story, one that you're particularly proud of in your business.
Oh my gosh, I have so many.
Look,
many.
this is not an all-day show, okay?
I know.
We don't have time to hear all of them.
Helping people is what I do. It's what our team is most proud of. So when I think about even some years ago in Chicago, I worked with an awesome human, Mr. Reed. I'll just call him Mr. Reed. And we worked within a marketing capacity with the organization that was responsible for helping with workforce development. We went in, we kind of had the conversation about, well, what is our ultimate goal? Where is our deficit right now in this moment? And Mr. Reed is so wonderful. He was able to communicate specifically what was needed. Well, not enough of our people, our clients are getting jobs. They're coming in, they're filtering through this process, and we don't want to waste money. We don't want to waste the taxpayers' dollars. We want to create a program that's effective. And so what we did, we helped them to craft a program for their workforce development. And it is still used to this day. That was in the 90s. Okay. So when you think about something as small as we just need more of our people to get quality jobs. If your responsibility as a business owner is to reach a bottom line with more people getting jobs, all you care about is let's just make it happen. And so we found a way to do that for that company, and they are still thriving to this day, where many businesses since the pandemic have unfortunately closed or failed or not had very much success.
Sure.
But those are the kind of things we help to incorporate. And when you do it based on foundational principles from the ground floor, using a unique perspective, because not everything is seen one way. But you often need someone to come in, maybe a coach, maybe a consultant, to show you a varied advantage. And that's what we were able to do for that organization.
Got it. Now, Toseima, I would love it if you could talk about your community involvement. I mean, that's something that's pretty important to you and your business, right?
Absolutely. Being involved in charitable organizations are the foundation of what Creative Arts International is all about. And our most recent experience was we were asked to be involved with the Rev'd Up Kids. Rev'd Up Kids had a recent charitable event where we were able to raise a significant amount of money to help with this organization through what was called the Big Show charity event. And so I emceed the event, and it was a ton of fun. You guys can even find it on YouTube because we shared it on YouTube. But it was a great opportunity for young people to be able to showcase their talent. We even had a few adults who were involved playing the saxophone and singing these beautiful songs, playing piano, having skits and all this. But the most important thing was Rev'd Up Kids is all about ending sexual abuse and child exploitation. So their focus is very specific, right? It's very focused in abuse related matters, dealing with children. So what we try to place our energy with charitable functions is based on things that affect children, things that affect abuse related matters. And we want to really streamline that because, then we're kind of all over the place, right?
Yeah.
People start to understand that when you are just drawing a line of performing arts through children and adult interactions, then they understand our niche is pretty special. We're just an arts organization that's found a way to do that in a consulting capacity for children and adults.
That's tremendous. Toseima Jiles is with us, folks, with Creative Arts International. Toseima, this has been great. I can't imagine that at this point there aren't some folks that want to be in touch. So let's get to the bottom line on that one real quick, okay?
Absolutely.
And give them ways to connect with you.
Absolutely. You guys can visit our website at creativeartsintl.com. That arts is plural. And you can reach out to me via phone at 770-765-7549. I am not afraid of a follow. You can follow me on Instagram at TOSEIMAJ, in addition to many other social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook. We have a goal to do something great in the community, and we would be absolutely honored for anyone who would like to join us in this most great crusade.
Awesome. Toseima Jiles, folks. Toseima, this has been great. Thanks so much for coming on.
John, it is absolutely my pleasure. Thank you with Business RadioX for having me, and of course, the Renaissance Bank.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, folks, just a quick reminder. Speaking of team building, who thought you could stand around a table seasoning meat and cutting up vegetables with your team, and that would actually be a team building activity? Well, it can. Over at A&S Culinary Concepts, that is. And what my suggestion that you do with them is give them a call or go to the website, ansculinaryconcepts.com. The phone number is 678-336-9196. Andrew Traub and his team over there, they do corporate catering, and they've got a lot of classes like Big Green Egg boot camps. But they're getting real active right now in corporate team building, and that's pretty important as we hopefully navigate our way out of a pandemic and put some of these teams back together again. So if you're looking for a cool way to do that, Andrew and his team have got a great way to do it at A&S Culinary Concepts. So give them a shot. I think you'll be glad you did. And folks, just a quick reminder, we're at show number 400 something here on North Fulton Business Radio, and we've come this far because of the great support we've had from you, our listener, and from the great guests we've had over the years, and we would appreciate your continued support. If you're not a subscriber to the show right now, you can find our show on all the major podcast apps. North Fulton Business Radio is the search term, and we would love it if you would subscribe. And if you'd like, we'd appreciate a great review, a 5-star review. It's not about me. It's not about Business RadioX. It's about our great guest, like Toseima, that we want to be found because they've appeared on the show. So if you could do that for us, we would appreciate it. So for my guest, Toseima Jiles, I'm John Ray. Join us next time here on North Fulton Business Radio.